Hello, Philly, and welcome to the show. The Eagles are on a roll that's 4 wins in a row, but of course, nothing can be easy with these birds. There always has to be a bit of controversy surrounding this team. It's time for my breakdown. Honestly, listen, I prefer to solely focus on the great win the Eagles just had. Saquon Barkley had another monster day spearheading the offense with 199 total yards of offense. That's 159 on the ground on 27 carries and 1 rushing touchdown, and one of the most spectacular plays you'll ever see to go along with 40 yards receiving and 1 receiving touchdown. A.J. Brown went down early in the game with a knee injury, but Jalen Hurts, 18 for 24, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 through the air and 1 on the ground, and a 132 rating, once again hooked up with Devontae Smith on 4 receptions for 87 yards. That's 21 yards per catch and a touchdown that will be remembered in Eagles football lore for all times. The Eagles offense dominated, especially on the ground for most of the day. 46 runs, yes, that's right, 46 for 237 yards. But what looked to be a blowout by the third quarter turned out to be a fight to the very end. A series of questionable decisions by head coach Nick Sirianni, in my opinion, set the stage for a great amount of consternation. Seeing that the Jaguars' offense in the first half got little to nothing done, they were 1 of 6 on third downs and a grand total of 38 yards in total offense in the first half. Tells me that the points would have been of a premium at every turn. But Sirianni had the go-for-it bug at every turn. After the first touchdown off of a muff punt and a Jake Elliott 39-yard field goal, Sirianni chose to go for it on 4th and 3 and turn the ball over on downs rather than take another Jake Elliott 39-yard field goal. On the last possession of the half, he took points off the board on an offsides penalty by the Jaguars to go for a 2-point play again, a tush push. Guess what? It failed. Had he taken the points, the score would have been 20-0 at half instead of 16-0. After the first touchdown in the second half, he chose again to go for a 2-point conversion, and it failed, pushing the score to 22-0 and giving the team waiting to quit new life. The Jaguars then scored on a 10-play, 61-yard drive. On the ensuing Eagles possession, Saquon Barkley fumbled on a missed call by the referees. The Jags picked it up and raced 33 yards for a defensive touchdown, and the comeback was on. After 2 2-point conversions on those touchdowns, now it was 22-16. 6-point difference. The Eagles then went on an 8-play, 91-yard drive that culminated in a 25-yard poetry in motion Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith pass. And Sirianni once again chose to go for 2 again and failed. The Jaguars answered with a 9-play, 70-yard drive that pulled them to within 6 points at this point. After passing up on multiple chip shots for Elliott, Sirianni chose to try a 57-yarder that bounced off the upright and missed, giving the Jags the ball at their own 40-yard line. The Birds' defense played lights out all day until Sirianni's decisions, in my opinion, put them in a precarious position. After holding the Jags' offense to nothing on offense in the first half, Sirianni's decisions and a few missed calls by the refs allowed the Jags to find a rhythm and amass 187 second-half yards. The Birds' defense held the Jacksonville Jaguars' offense to a total of 215 yards on the day. Impressive, but it took a Nakobe Dean interception from the Eagles' 13-yard line with 1 minute and 42 seconds left to seal the deal. Listen, Nakobe's getting better and better each and every week, and he and Zach Bond both had interception, and it looks as though that tandem is becoming playmakers that the Eagles so much need. Josh Sweat bagged 2 sacks on the day, and overall the defense stood tall because they had to. Nick Sirianni, in my opinion, needs to read the situation a bit better. If he had taken the points at every turn, this would have been an easy win. But his decision to put the offense behind the 8 ball and stress the defense unnecessarily in the second half was a massive mistake. The head coach should aid his players in winning, and I feel as though the players won this game in spite of their head coach rather than because of him. That's my breakdown. When I come back, ESPN Eagles reporter Tim McManus joins me to discuss Nick Sirianni's decisions further in the upcoming Cowboys matchup.
It's happening again. Those missed tackles are starting to stack up. Your friends pleading with players who can't hear them. Sweating it out week after week. But not you. Why? Because whether they score or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx app. New casino users score up to $1,000 bonus back in their first 24 hours.
Most people don't know how to get the care they need. The experts at Stay at Home Care can help. Before choosing a caregiver or family member for your care, you need to apply for the home care program. The application process can be complicated. Stay at Home Care can help you navigate through every step. Once approved, your caregiver or family member will receive guaranteed weekly pay, a variety of medical benefits options, paid holidays, paid vacation, and overtime pay. Call Stay at Home Care, here to help every step of the way.
I'm in that mode. Stick to the code. I'm in my zone. Let's go. I'm back in my bag. I'm wrecking the wins and it's making them.
You've got your Sunday obsession, and we got you. Now with Verizon, get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV on us and get every out-of-market Sunday game. Plus $800 off Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
See you Sunday.
At Pond Lehocky Giordano, we understand the impact an injury can have on your life. Our experienced attorneys have recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we know we can do the same for you. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Since 1893, Weber Display and Packaging has been Pennsylvania's leading manufacturer of corrugated packaging and displays. We're family-owned with 4 Philadelphia locations, 2 converting facilities, a warehouse, and a fulfillment center. Designed through delivery, we exceed customer needs. Weber Display and Packaging. Our core values drive everything we do. Come, join our team.
This segment is brought to you by Pond Lehocky. Welcome back. ESPN beat writer covering your Philadelphia Eagles, Tim McManus, is here to dive a bit deeper into the Birds. Tim, the Birds have won 4 in a row, but why does it feel like last week's win was a loss?
Well, Nick Sirianni's decision-making definitely influences that, Seth. I mean, people have been picking it apart and having some consternation over what should have been an easy win over the Jaguars that just felt like, the coach negatively influenced and helped make it a game where it shouldn't have been a game. I thought it was really interesting speaking with Vic Fangio at his media availability. And of course, he had a stint as head coach with the Broncos, and he was asked about going forward on 4th down and those kind of things. He said, no, I went for my share. But he said the key thing is flow. Like, you have to understand the flow of the game. And I think that's where the main point of criticism for me comes down with Sirianni is you could tell through the flow of that game, the way that the defense was operating, the way that everything was shaking out, that, getting points when you had the opportunity to, and building up that lead gradually was the way to go. But he persisted with his aggressive nature, which generally, I'm fine with, but I just don't really feel it matched that moment.
I've been listening to his press conferences, and I've been listening to him on WIP, and it seems like he's doubling down. Like, he's not even walking it back even a little bit. When asked if, he'd do it again, his answer has relatively been, yes, I wouldn't do anything differently.
He doubled and then tripled down in his radio appearance. And he's saying that that's who we are. We're the Philadelphia Eagles. We're aggressive. And, I like that mentality, generally speaking. I think that the NFL has trended that way, and that numbers have proved out largely over time that if you're going to keep your foot on the gas, if you're going to go for it more on 4th down, then it's going to help you in the long run more times than not. But I don't like the idea of just, this is who we are, and so this is what we're going to do every time, because that doesn't take into account the other factors that are happening on the field on Sunday. If you're in there with one mentality and the game presents itself in a different way, then how are you accounting for that? And in this case, it felt, Seth, like he just he didn't.
I think that the situation dictates how you implement how aggressive you are, but just being aggressive to be aggressive makes no sense to me. You've got to manage a team. You got players to manage. I'm curious, and I know that the players are going to, for the most part, toe the line. But what's the temperature around the football team right now? Because I've seen Lane Johnson's his post game presser with him talking. He sounds frustrated. And of course, he's not going to say the things that we think or we believe, but sometimes you got to kind of read between the lines of what these players say to kind of understand what they're meaning.
Yeah, I was part of that media scrum post-game with Johnson, and the one line that stuck out to me is like, yeah, we would have liked it if we would have gotten those 2-point conversions, but, I'll take the field goal or the points, saying basically we left points on the board. And I find it pretty fascinating the way that Johnson has been carrying himself this year, and he's been very vocal. He's been vocal in the media, like basically saying a few weeks ago we need to get to the line of scrimmage faster because it's working to our detriment when we're getting the snaps off late. He started pushing the idea publicly about the fact that they had to be more of a run-centric team, and not only that, but he revealed that during the meetings during the bye week that he spoke up along with a couple other offensive linemen and told the coaches, like, hey, we got to ride with Saquon here a little bit more. We need to shift into a more run-oriented offense. So that tells you a couple things. I mean, it tells you that Johnson is developing more as a leader in Jason Kelce's absence, and also tells you that the players were feeling a certain way and they expressed themselves. But I also think that coaching deserves some credit there, where maybe they should have had that figured out from the get-go, but also being amenable to it at least shows you that Sirianni and that group is listening to the players.
Tim, speaking of Saquon, listen, he's been a phenomenal signing. And 30 touches last week. I think, at some point in time, we got to begin to talk about them figuring out a way to get him some rest and minimize some of his touches. Of course, he's going to want to play all the time, but, the coaches kind of have to be that buffer between what's reasonable and what's not. Is this sustainable, 30 touches a game?
I don't think so. I mean, it's not like he's a young back. There already is some tread on the tire. And when you watch him, I mean, it just feels like he's got Superman qualities to the way, like he can do anything. But if you keep up this kind of workload, I think eventually you're going to see that it's going to wear him down. And watching that game and him on the sidelines, there's times where he was calling himself off. Obviously, he was working through something. And as he was at his locker stall post-game, the trainer was essentially hovering over him and pulled him into the back room when he was done with media availability. So I don't think he's going to miss this upcoming game against Dallas or anything like that. But it does show you that, he's dealing with something, and that those things are going to pop up during the course of the year. So you have to find kind of that middle ground, that balance of utilizing one of your best players offensively, maybe your best player, without running him down essentially, so that he's available for you at the end of the year when you need him most.
Okay, so now it's Cowboys week, our most hated rival. Their struggles have been clear for all the world to see, especially now they potentially, we know that Dak's going to be out, but potentially CD may be down as well. Dare I say, could this rivalry game be almost a lock for the Eagles?
I'm never going to go that way, especially when you consider that they did have some really nice blowout wins over a 2-game stretch, but also, you saw them struggle a little bit against Cleveland. You saw them struggle against Jacksonville, and those are two of the worst teams in the NFL. And so being on the road, going up against a desperate Cowboys team, I'm not going to call it a lock, but clearly things are falling in the favor of the Eagles, with Dak Prescott being on the ice and maybe on IR, it opens up an opportunity where they should be able to go in and take care of business. And Seth, we know if they don't, and those questionable decision-making continues in game with Sirianni, then there's going to be, a lot of people pulling their hair out here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it'll be a heck of a week if they don't go down there and get the win, and it's because of the decision-making of the head coach. Tim, man, thanks for joining me. I appreciate your time, input, and insights, man.
Hey, Seth, always my pleasure anytime.
After this break, Brad Feinberg joins me with his weekly betting and fantasy picks.
I'm wrecking the wins and it's making them.
You've got your Sunday obsession, and we got you. Now with Verizon, get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV on us and get every out-of-market Sunday game. Plus $800 off Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
See you Sunday.
This is Parks. Parks, Pennsylvania's #1 casino experience. This is how you win.
And the next thing I knew, I woke up in a hospital bed.
Has a friend ever told you a story about an accident and someone says,
You should probably sue them.
forget your friend, call Ponley Hockey Giordano.
We're an injury law firm that's recovered billions of dollars for our clients.
And with our vast network of attorneys throughout the country, we know we can do the same for you.
So if you've been injured in an accident, give Ponley Hockey a call.
One conversation is all it takes, and you won't pay a dime until we win.
Get peace of mind, drive certified at DavisCertified.com.
How do you make sure your next vehicle purchase is a quality vehicle priced right? Go to DavisCertified.com.
Every Davis certified pre-owned vehicle has a 60-day, 2,000-mile powertrain warranty, plus 2 years of free oil changes, a 3-day exchange policy, and a free Carfax report.
Get peace of mind, drive certified at DavisCertified.com.
At Revolution X, we know that fortunes are made in times of uncertainty. Are you selling your investment real estate? Are you interested in deferring your tax with a 1031 exchange? At RevX, we're experts in 1031 exchange planning and the use of passive real estate options using DSTs. Not in the midst of an exchange and want to invest in real estate but don't know where to start? Revolution X has institutional grade real estate options for any size investor right now. Set up a consultation at RevXWealth.com. RevX, defer the tax, maximize the gain.
This segment is brought to you by Bet Parks. Welcome back. Brad Feinberg, my in-house betting and fantasy guy, is here with his picks for the week. Follow Brad at Brad's Best Bets on X. Brad, that's 4 in a row for the Birds, but Sirianni's decision-makings are making things quite palpable.
I could write a novel longer than War and Peace about the mistakes of Nick Sirianni and the fact that no one is stopping this guy, Seth. It's going to cost him in one of these big spots, I guarantee it.
All righty. So give me your top picks for this week. I need a nice parlay.
I was actually just visiting my son in Nashville. Got to see the Titans play in person against the New England Patriots. And you know, firstly, actually not a bad game in the strange but true category. Went to overtime. But Drake May impressed me, Seth. Give me the Patriots and Drake May to maybe even win outright against Caleb Williams like the Patriots. Next, Seth, why are the Panthers getting 5 points? The Giants shouldn't be favored by 5 points over anyone. I'll take the Panthers in the game. Not saying they're going to win, but I think 5's too many. Give me Carolina getting 5. Seth, next, look, Pittsburgh's been great. Mike Tomlin, what a great coach. One of my all-time favorites. But I think Washington's just a better team. I really, really do. Jaden Daniels is a superstar. And I think Daniels makes enough plays here. I think they win this game at home by at least a field goal. And Seth, last but not least, I'm going to give you a total. I'm going to give you the total in the Eagles-Cowboys game. The total's sitting at 41.5. I don't trust this Dallas defense at all. I think the Eagles should be able to score. And look, Dallas, we still know they're still going to pass the ball a ton. That's just who they are. That's what they like to do. So if you're betting an over, you want to see as many passes as possible. While the Eagles defense has definitely improved and it's been way better recently, I still think Dallas can score close to 20 points. And I know the Eagles are going to score over 20. Give me over 41.5.
All right, so who are your top players in defense for fantasy this week?
Well, Seth, look, the cheapest quarterback this week is Cooper Rush. And again, not saying he's good, but you know what? Look, he's shown he was not god-awful in his previous appearances. And as the cheapest QB against the defense, to me, it's pretty good, but I wouldn't say Eagles defense is great. I'll take my chances on Cooper Rush. It lets me buy other great players. Running back-wise, Seth, James Conner is a beast. This guy, I cannot tell you how impressed I am with him. I think he's one of the most underrated running backs in the league. Not being priced high this week, give me James Conner. Wide receivers-wise, Seth, look, Courtland Sutton has been on fire. 2 straight 100-yard games, 15 catches over 2 games. Sutton's not being priced in the top 25. To me, that's absolutely nuts. I say Sutton has a 3rd straight really good game in a row. And defensively, Seth, look, I'm going for value here. I'm not saying they're great again, but the Patriots defense going against, in my opinion, a bad Bears offense, second cheapest defense on the board. Again, it's allowing me to buy other superstar players.
All right, Brad, so who and what defense are you fading this week?
Look, Kyler Murray, really good player, but again, he's being priced as one of the top QBs this week, going against, in my opinion, as I said, a really good Jets pass defense. I don't think this is a Kyler Murray game, fading him. Running back-wise, look, I faded this guy last week. I'm going to do it again. He did nothing last week. Javonte Williams, look, the Chiefs are so freaking good, Seth, against the run. They're absolutely incredible. That's why we took Sutton, similar thing. I say no way, Jose. Receiver-wise, now this one comes with an asterisk, Seth. It comes with an asterisk because as we're taping the show, we don't know the exact availability of A.J. Brown. But if A.J. Brown plays, they have Devonta Smith as the fourth highest-priced receiver. Now, if A.J. Brown's playing, absolutely would not take him as the fourth highest receiver. If A.J. Brown doesn't play, I get it. He could still earn that, but I'm assuming A.J. Brown has a pretty decent chance of playing. And last, Seth, hate to sound like I'm not rooting for the hometown team because I love the Eagles, Seth, but I think the Eagles defense, I think they're the second or third highest priced defense this week. I still think Dallas has some success, and I would not be willing to pay up a very high fee for, Eagles defense that showed even last week against Jacksonville. They're vulnerable for teams, even bad teams, to put up some points on them.
Duly noted. I just want you to know I wrote that down. I got to make you eat your words next week. All right.
I hope so, my friend. I hope so.
All right. Listen, it's always great to have you on. Love to have your picks each and every week. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week, my friend.
You got it, Seth. Good luck to you.
All right. Download the BetParks Casino app. Like me, you love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParks. Coming up, my closing thoughts and predictions for Dallas week.
At Pond Hockey, we're neither a pond nor a hockey team. In fact, I don't even know how to skate.
Cut.
We're the injury law firm that you want fighting for you.
With our vast network of attorneys across the country, we know the playbook on injury law.
It's how Pond Hockey recovered billions of dollars for more than 100,000 injured and disabled workers.
And we know we can do the same for you.
So give Pond Hockey a call. No other law firm will fight harder for you.
And you'll never pay a dime until we win.
I'm in that mode. Stick to the code. I'm in my zone. Let's go. Let's go. I'm back in my bag. I'm wrecking the wins and it's making them.
You've got your Sunday obsession, and we got you. Now with Verizon, get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV on us and get every out-of-market Sunday game. Plus $800 off Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
See you Sunday.
Pride, passion, and persistence. These are the values that drive us all at Ron Jaworski Golf. We strive to deliver outstanding conditions as well as playability for golfers of all ages and abilities. Our championship golf courses offer a variety of challenges from a link-style walk along the river to an escape into the pines and everything in between. My team at Ron Jaworski Golf is committed to delivering memorable experiences every single day. See all we do at ronjaworskigolf.com.
It's happening again. Those missed tackles are starting to stack up. Your friends pleading with players who can't hear them. Sweating it out week after week. But not you. Why? Because whether they score or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParks app. New casino users score up to $1,000